As we approached the door, 3 pledges stood before us. Above us on the steps, they scrutinized the crowd of men below them. Everything we had worked for had led up to this moment. Would they believe the disguise? Would they let us in? Behind me stands the esteemed Delta Upsilon fraternity at the University of Chicago. In 36 hours, I will attempt to infiltrate these walls by means of a cunning disguise. What kind of qualities? The door was going to be. There had to be another way. That's a fucking dude, bro. Frat parties. A welcoming function for some, a challenge for others. When I first got here from the UK, the system confused me. You see, in Scotland, where I'm from, the process for getting into a party is pretty straightforward. There's usually a door. You walk up to the door, and then you go through the door, and then you're in the party. However, in the US, it's a little bit different, I've learned, for frat parties. There is still a door, but in front of the door, there's a kind of little gaggle of pledges who decide whether you can get in. They're kind of like bouncers, I would say. When I get up to the door, there's usually a series of questions related to my gender, the gender of my entourage. Can you name 3 brothers? And then I usually don't get in. Maybe in this situation, I get in. Maybe. But, just me alone. They say, no, you're not getting in. So I'm really just wondering why it's like that, how I can circumvent that. For more information, I sought a man on the front lines.
Your brother is Sigma Chi.
I am. I joined Sigma Chi last winter, the winter of my first year. And now that I'm a brother, the ball's in my court, so I'm really thrilled for that.
So who gets into frat parties? How do you decide? What kind of qualities are you looking for? I would say.
I don't know if it's a qualities thing, honestly. I think oftentimes it's like people who are friends of the fraternity or people who are closely associated with the people who are on door but who are not part of the fraternity, so they're like, all right, just come on in. It's a bit of a who you know kind of situation.
Do you think that's where the perception that you can prove your allegiance to the fraternity by naming 3 brothers comes from?
Naming 3 brothers. I feel like that's more of a gimmick.
It's a gimmick. Do you think it's a representative gimmick? Do you think inflation could see us naming 4 brothers?
Yes.
Maybe
in today's economy,
brothers, 4 brothers.
Yeah. 4 brothers is in the near future.
5 brothers.
5 brothers is still on the table for down the line. Yes, I would. Yes.
In my position, I was lucky if I could name 1 brother. Faced with the prospect of 4 or 5, I knew there had to be another way. Seth wasn't telling me the whole story, so I turned to another informant.
Have you ever had to name 3 brothers?
No, of course not. I'm a girl.
That's actually why you're here.
Okay.
You're like one of the girls I know.
Okay.
Have you ever felt judged on the door?
No.
You never scared of a pledge?
Never.
Really, you just saunter on in there?
Yeah. You just hold hands with whichever girl you're going in with. And
Do you always go in a pack? You never soloed a frat party?
Oh, never. Because you're pushing past a crowd of people. You don't want to be by yourself.
Crowd of weird men.
Exactly. Dudes that are trying to get in.
Freaks.
I didn't want to be in that band of freaks. The door was going to be my main challenge. I had to find out more.
Would you say that being a doorman is a frat career highlight? Could you tell me a little bit
Being
about
on door?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure what the cameras are capturing, but I'm not the biggest guy. I wasn't really on door. That's typically reserved for the bigger guys, and then if the smaller guys want to just go down there and punch their
power
ego,
power,
hunger, there's opportunity for power tripping if you seek that. I was more of a bar kind of guy. The people who are behind bar, it's people who have good judgment.
Would you say that leaves a shortage of wise men for the door?
I think it depends on the fraternity. I can only speak for
Sigma Chi.
I can only speak for Sigma Chi.
The other night I was in front of I watched them yelling at the crowd of dudes and they're like, get off the fucking pavement. And then they're like, okay, you two, you and you, go over there and like push each other. Whoever falls into the pothole first loses, the other guy can get in. And then I go in, I see both of them at the party. So like, what was the point of that, you know?
I'm gonna list some names, / some qualities.
Names and qualities.
And I'd just like you to tell me if you would let them in. Brad.
Based on
His name is Brad.
the only guy I know whose name is Brad, I'm letting that Brad in.
Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
Every day.
Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling. He just
Yeah.
turns up at the door.
Yeah. He seems cool.
Former President of the United States, Barack Obama. He's standing in front of you.
Absolutely.
He goes,
Let me be clear.
Absolutely.
I can name 3 brothers.
Let me be clear.
Let me be clear. I can name 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Are you even going to question him? Are you going to ask him to even name those 3 brothers? Or
I don't
he's just
mind.
in?
He's in.
Michelle?
Yes.
What about a 7'1", 325-pound bald man?
No. The thing is, you let that guy in and you don't decide when that guy leaves.
So what you're saying is that you wouldn't let in 15-time NBA All-Star Shaquille O'Neal?
No, it's actually not what I'm saying. We can run the tapes back, actually. I said I don't know enough about this guy.
How many 7'1", 325-pound bald men are there? I mean, there's
guess I
got to
didn't-
be 5.
I'm not letting in the other 4.
Okay, but you would let in Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah,
I've heard he can DJ.
he can.
I'm no Ryan Gosling, I'm no former president, and I can't DJ. Without any of these qualities, the walls of a frat party seemed impenetrable. And then it came to me.
Would you let in a 6'3", 200-pound man dressed as a woman? Convincingly dressed as a woman.
Convincingly meaning I don't know that it's a man. When they get up there, do they just
They're 6'3" and 200 pounds. But for all
So
in
many people-
they long hair, makeup, breasts.
I think that if they're willing to do that to get into a party, good on. Are you 6'3" and 200 pounds?
I am, yeah. You're quite tall.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that your height intimidates the pledges on the door?
No.
Do you ever try to look smaller?
No.
Do you have any advice on trying to look smaller?
Slouch. Or just be next to other people that are taller than you.
Do you know any 6'4" women?
No.
Do you think I could get in if I dressed up as a woman?
It depends on the circumstance. It depends on like how convincingly you're dressed as a woman. I have confidence.
With Sarah's unwavering confidence and her familiarity with tall women, I knew I had to recruit her for my conspiracy.
I will assemble my team and we will get this done. 4 girls and 1 gay man.
And so a plan was born.
Sarah's requirements went far deeper than I could ever comprehend. Shaving my armpits was crucial to our success. This was a truly novel experience that I will not be repeating. Eyebrowless since birth, she embellished me with admittedly wonky new eyebrows. From there, momentum only increased. She and her associates bolded me before furnishing me with fine new locks.
I look a bit like the woman from Game of Thrones.
This was the first part of a 2-part hair makeover that I was completely unprepared for.
I'm hoping that the lashes come in
Fake lashes were cemented to my eyelids. Makeup was used to slim my face, cover up the eyebrow fiasco, and further beautify me. All that was left now was the outfit. I purchased a double XL sports bra, which was filled with new breasts.
Okay, guys, come over here. Feet and play.
Oh, yeah,
That's a boo. No, it's perfect.
Our target was Delta Upsilon's White Lies party. Partygoers were expected to don white t-shirts penned with white lies.
Mine was, these aren't real.
Off the shoulder, this one's
We
on-
practiced my girl walk, my girl smile, my girl poses. Sarah suggested classic blue jeans and white shoes for my lower half. Adeline was born. No box was left unchecked, no stone unturned.
After 3.5 hours, we were finally ready. As we approached the door, 3 pledges stood before us. Above us on the steps, they scrutinized the crowd of men below them. Sarah took the lead, hoisting our pack up the stairs and towards the door.
It had all led up to this. We had the boyfriend of one of Sarah's associates at the door, which led to some arguing.
There are more girls than one.
The pledges were having none of it, and we had to leave him behind. I crouched down to a measly 6'1" as they eyed me and my entourage. But just like that, we were in. Blink and you miss it.
For a brief second, I basked in the glory of our accomplishment. I thought the pledges hadn't batted an eye.
However, our man on the outside had heard one of the pledges say,
That's a fucking dude, bro.
as we walked past. Despite his best efforts to convince them otherwise, the brothers organized a scouting troop to find and remove me from the function. Panic ensued. We tried to hide on the dance floor, but the party was so empty and well lit that this was an ailing effort. We quickly opened a window to sneak in the informant who had tipped us off, but the danger was ever present. All in all, between the deadness of the party and the search committee on our tails, we decided to leave.
So, what did we learn from this experience? Yes, you can get into a frat party if you dress up as a woman. No, it is not worth it. It may be cliche, but I think the real joy of this experience was the friends we made along the way. The Booptilla Project Makeover, as the group chat was called, introduced me to a whole group of friends with one common goal: acceptance. And together, through trials and tribulations, we found it. Now we have friends that will last even after the party is over. When we opened the window for our informant, I learned a valuable lesson. That, as Seth said, acceptance is...
It's a bit of a who you know kind of situation.
Find those who will accept you for who you are and what you do, not those that you have to disguise yourself in order to please.